Welcome to Freedom Forest. We've decided to make this video for you today to show you how tilling, digging and using heavy machinery completely destroys your soil and the soil life within it. And we know this firsthand because we have just done it. We purchased this additional half an acre of land about 18 months ago and it was completely overgrown. It had previously been a production growing area, so the soil was already probably quite depleted, but it had been left for many years for nature and mostly the weeds to take it back over.
We've got all sorts of perennial weeds and fugs here, including bracken, nettles, bramble, yellow dock, couch grass, and even a bit of bindweed thrown in the mix. So we've really got our work cut out.
It is largely just Dan and myself here maintaining, growing, clearing and creating any new areas on the 3 acres that we have here at Freedom Forest. Dan's parents, who are awesome, do help us out with some of the bigger jobs or if we get completely overwhelmed, but mostly it's just the two of us. So we do sometimes have to do things in the short term that aren't completely within our ethics to help us manage the land for the long term. Just like this black weed membrane that we're having to put down at the minute to kill off some of the perennial weeds. Hopefully that's just a short-term thing. Now back to the soil. When we first cleared this land, as well as all the weeds, there was lots of willow that had self-seeded and was growing everywhere. It was even growing up through some of the polytunnel frames that we wanted to reinstate. So we had to get a mini digger in to help us clear and dig out some of the roots and stumps from where the willow had been growing.
As Laurie previously mentioned, this land was used intensively previously as a market garden, but it has been left 7 or 8 years to regenerate, and this soil surface here was covered in grass and broadleaf perennial weeds, and the soil underneath was pretty good. But as you can see, just through here, just the act of rotivating once, and before that using a mini digger over this surface, with the winter rain has literally caused the aggregate from the soil. In our case, we have quite a high content of sand in areas and clay particles. It's literally just washed the organic matter out of the soil, and now this has just become literally kind of just almost like subsoil really, and that's just in over winter time in one season. So it just shows the large amount of damage which is caused by these methods and is hidden by literally just rotivating once.
This has created a massive amount of compaction and uneven ground. It's created ruts for runoffs, and it means that our soil is now impermeable to the movement of air and water, which is not good. As you can see over here, all of the sand has come to the surface of the soil and actually looks more like cement.
So now we've had to rotivate the soil, unfortunately, just to level it out enough to put this weed membrane down. Over here, where we've rotivated the soil, it actually looks quite decent. So you can see how this will become a vicious cycle year after year. And this isn't even using heavy machinery compared to industrial farming.
Well, looks can be deceiving because after doing some hand weeding in this area and taking a closer look at the soil, I was shocked to see that this soil is completely dead. In one day, I found just 1 centipede, 1 caterpillar and 1 worm in this huge big area. Just 1.
Here's a great example of what you obliterate when you dig your soil. That's one of our little wormholes, the natural aerators of the soil. Now sadly gone, but they're going to have plenty of time to recover. Over the other side of Freedom Forest, in our no-dig beds, the soil was literally moving with life. And this is clear evidence to us that tilling, rotivating, digging and compaction all have a really negative impact on the relationships of the soil and the organisms within it. But fear not, we cleared the other side of Freedom Forest in a very similar way, and we've got big plans for this side too.
We're slowly getting control of epic amounts of sheep sorrel and gorse over that side by using wood chip mulch, no dig and edible ground covers. We're all about feeding and regenerating the soil, so this will soon become a haven for insects and invertebrates, with an array of beautiful no-dig beds, wood chip paths and a mixture of crops, trees and flowers, all growing happily and in harmony.
If you'd like to see more of what we do, you can check out our other videos on YouTube.
You can also find us on Facebook and on our new website www.freedomforestlife.co.uk. We share loads of recipes there, you can find out more about us, and we'll be putting heaps more cool stuff on there soon.
So stick with No Dig.
Peace and plants!